We have this bad habit of trying to overgeneralize the population around us when we're selling stuff, and we get very simplistic. And the one that I really can't stand is the idea of generational like segmentation. There is literally no basis in fact and in fact, if you look at the famous book that was written about millennials, they based so all of the things that we thought about millennials was based on one book that was based on a handful of interviews at two high schools in a wealthy suburb of Washington D.C. And then we generalize that to the entire population of like 80 odd million people in the US, and then goodness knows how many more people globally. And it makes no sense. And so the secondhand clothing example is a good one, right? Because there are a lot of people who are in this Gen Z younger age group who want to do secondhand clothing, both physically and online, because they don't want the environmental impact. So, they know that fashion is a hugely costly on the environment. So they have this thing, right? But at the very same time, you have Shein and Temu as the two most popular apps in the App Store, which are the literal opposite. They're environmental catastrophes, both in production and shipping and from beginning to end. And so I think we got to be real careful when we oversimplify large groups of people and we overgeneralize these things, because we can actually have a population that's very large for whom they do shop at Shein. Perhaps the same person is also shopping secondhand, and we have to deal with these contradictions, I think, and accept them. And those contradictions are actually what makes the world a rich place. The more we overgeneralize and oversimplify human beings, the more boring and the less interesting the stuff is that we then put into the world, because we're no longer reflecting that richness in any way, shape, or form.